Hey guys, my name's Bailey and welcome back to my doll collecting channel. So today I'm here with Ebony and she is wearing some pajamas for Jammy January. I think these are the wildflower pajamas, but I couldn't tell you for sure. And I paired her with these back to school set socks. It's like the 3-in-1 outfit socks. They're pretty neon in comparison to this green, but they work. Like the little slippers that came with them, I only had one. It only came with one, but I knew that. And it was pretty much this color, so I think it works. And then she's wearing Molly's locket and she's got her hair all done real cute. This is like my favorite hairstyle I've ever done on her. She's so cute. It really just represents her character, just perfect. I don't know. And then I'm also here with April, my number 52. And she has Nikki Hoffman socks and Pleasant Company pajama pants and a Tenny Tour shirt that I got at the thrift store. So cool. And then she has this on the back. It's like Tenny and Logan. It's like off the shoulder kind of. It's like really weird. It didn't have any Velcro in it or anything. I'm not sure. But she also has her necklaces and this bow from the same school set. And we're still wearing our AG Ohio bracelets. I told everyone in my life about that. I just thought it was so awesome. I loved going to an AG meetup. I've always wanted to. And when Atlanta closed, I was like, oh, I'll never be able to. Not that Nashville's not worth it, but I just at the time hadn't been to Nashville yet. But regardless, I told everybody about it and I was so happy and people were, asking me about it, like, how was it? I had someone who said it was a convention. Like they would go around and be like, yeah, she went to an American Girl doll convention. And it was pretty cool. I'll allow them saying convention. But basically that kind of ties into my topic for this video. And that is how to be confident in your doll collecting. Because doll collecting is cool. Doll collecting is not lame. It's not something to be embarrassed about. It's not something to shame yourself over. It is a cool and valid and therapeutic hobby that I love and I have been experiencing for all my life. Minus like 4 years when I thought that I was grown. I don't know if I thought I was grown or if I was just broke. It was probably a mix of both. But basically, I've been collecting almost my whole life. I had a great grandmother who collected her whole life and she would take dolls out with her. She would take toys out with her. Whatever she was feeling, she would take it with her. And I've always thought that it was really cool to have that role model. Like, looking back, I just think that that's really cool that little me had that. And you could be that for someone else. I'm that for my nieces right now. But once you're confident in your doll collecting, I think that it's a totally different experience because you're not affected by the majority of doll collector problems. You're like on your own path in collecting and it's super cool. And I think the first step in being proud and confident in collecting is just knowing that you are doing a cool thing. Like, your dolls are cool and they should make you feel good. And if they don't, you should get new dolls. And not that you should get new dolls as in like consumering, but just you should, branch out and see if maybe a different doll is good for you. Like I have BJDs, I have Barbie, I have American Girl. And personally for me right now, American Girl is my type of doll. Like, I love other dolls and I've even thought about getting a smart doll. I don't know why, I've always loved them, but just for the example of branch out into different types of dolls, because there's so many different types of dolls out there. I keep learning about different types, and I keep learning about different ones that I'm like obsessed with. So that would be my first tip, is to just look around, see what's out there. And with that, once you like your dolls, you should take that as a small win for yourself and know that it's cool. And that you should have confidence in that you have at least one cool doll. And for me, that's these two. I do have other cool dolls, but like in my mind, I can see these girls as being like real and not just a cool doll, but like a cool person in doll form. And I really like that about them. But I think that when you're happy and confident, you're not really affected by criticism. But if in the event that you are experiencing criticism, I think that that's also another hurdle to get over, because it's hard to experience a negative comment. And I haven't really dealt with that in my doll hobby, but I've dealt with that in my own personal life. And so I think that when we experience negativity in such a positive space, it could be easy for us to, go into our shell and not take pictures of our dolls and just kind of hide that experience from being shared. And that's one thing if you don't want to be shared, like for, example, some people don't like making doll videos. They like being on Instagram. And some people like videos and don't like being on Instagram. Like, I like making the videos. Being on Instagram is very secondary for me, and I just like interacting with you guys. That's my personal favorite, is just being able to like actually chat. But it's really easy to just go into your shell, and I think that for some that might be the perfect response. But I think that if you're not happy with that response, I think that thinking about how you feel and how you actually want to respond is way more important, because our feelings really dictate how we live our life. Like, if we are feeling sad, we might be sad throughout the day. And I am definitely speaking from personal experience. I've built myself up from probably the lowest confidence that I had ever thought that I would had. Like, as a kid, I was like, man, this is the lowest I've ever been. But oh boy, little kid me was not ready for adults. Adult life was not easy to come into. But learning how you want to respond and how you're feeling is just so important before you respond. And doing that is kind of hard when you're face to face with somebody, but you can also not respond to them if they're saying something ugly, and you can just give them a face and just go on your way. When I was a little girl, I used to bring my boy pull-up dolls, my Taeyangs, and I would bring them to family events, and they would always comment on their looks and how they look like a girl and how they look like a very negative word that hurt me deep down. Like, it actually hurt me. And I would take my doll and I would go out into the cold and I'd be like, I'm gonna go out here, screw you guys, because I know that I'm doing something cool. So face to face is definitely really hard, But I think that our online spaces are just really important if you want to be able to participate in them. And I see people on Instagram all the time being like, I want to delete my AGIG. I'm tired of the drama and the negativity. And I know that those experiences and concerns are valid just because of how long I've been in the doll community. Like, any doll community I've ever been in has had stupid drama. Like, I don't know why. I wish we could get over that. I wish we could just like leap over that huge hurdle, that mountain, and just get over it. But for whatever reason, we can't. So we need to turn inward, and we need to change our own responses, because our feelings will lead us to making decisions that may not have been the right choice. And every obstacle gives you a choice to decide how you're going to deal with it. And for me personally, I just don't want anyone to think that deleting their account and withdrawing from the community is the correct answer, because I know also that this community is great. I know that every doll community out there has drama, but it's also great. So I think the first step is to just identify how you're feeling in the moment when you receive a comment, when you see a negative post, when you see anything like that, is to just identify how you're feeling. You know, you could be angry, you could be feeling frustration, you could be feeling shame, you could be experiencing a varying variety of responses. And after you identify how you're feeling and how that made you feel, you can also use that in your response. I feel statements are amazing. Like, ever since I learned about I feel statements, I feel like my communication has just been way better, because that's how I feel, and I'm communicating. That's how I feel. And you can use that in your response if you choose to respond. When you say things like that to me, I feel this. And that's not okay for you to make me feel that way. Because it's not. No one should ever make you feel any type of way that you don't want to feel. Unless it's valid and you need it. But most of the time you don't need negativity. Negativity is useless and pointless, and no one needs it. Nobody. So you can choose if you want to respond. And sometimes responding will fuel the conflict, but if it makes you feel better to say, hey, you can't say that to me because it makes me feel this way and I don't want to feel that way, so I'd appreciate it if you don't say that to me again, or I'd appreciate it if you don't message me ever again. I think that that's such a bold and good and confident answer. Like, I say things like this all the time at work. Like, I call people out. I do not care. Do not treat me any type of way. No. Do not do that. Because I have been treated all different types of ways that I couldn't even control. And so now that I'm an adult, don't try me, girl. So, if you choose to respond, my personal favorite method in responding to people that make absolutely no sense is the Socratic method. It's a method that's commonly used in debate, and it was created by Socrates. I don't know if you know that name. It's pretty out there. He was, exiled for teaching the youth and making them hip on things like this. But basically, you just ask questions. Why did you feel like that was okay to say to me? What made you feel like that was okay? What result are you expecting from saying that to me? Because I think all of these questions will make people think about themselves and think about what they're actually doing and saying to real people. Because we're all just real people trying to enjoy our dolls here. That's all we're doing. Just trying to play with our girls or our boys or our theys, whatever we want to play with. We're just trying to play with them. And so, what can you do instead of responding? You can ignore them, you can block them, and you can get off the social media, but I would just recommend really going with the first two, with blocking and ignoring, because I think that ignoring is honestly the strongest one. Unfollow and ignore, because that just shows that you just don't even care. You don't even care. You don't even want to deal with it. You don't even want to block them. You just don't even care. The path of least resistance. You're like, yeah, that, do it. The path of least resistance is like a philosophy in a lot of traditional like cultures, but it's found in Taoism for me. Like, that's how I found it. And I love doing the path of least resistance. I don't want to fight with people. I don't want to get bothered with that kind of stuff, because I don't know about you guys, but when I respond to haters, like in my own life, because that's when I experience it, I'm sweating. I'm shaking. I'm not making any sense. Kind of like this video a little bit. I'm trying to stay on track because I've had to record this a few times, but basically, responding is just not always the method that I like. I like just ignoring them, but always just focus on how you're feeling, because your feelings will lead to how you feel about yourself and how you feel in the hobby. And if you're not feeling good, just go hang out with your dolls. Close the app, go hang out with your dolls, and then come back and decide on what you want to do. Time is your friend, and you don't have to make a decision. You don't have to respond, and you don't have to respond today. You can respond in a week and be like, are you serious? I don't know the kind of drama that really happens, but I think that it's just like political, human rights, and I'm trying to think of another thing that we could add in there, but I think civil rights and politics are pretty much just the broad spectrum of it all. But some people are just haters on your dolls. Like, some people don't think that, like, some people wouldn't think that Ebony is a good doll, okay? Like, I think that they're absolutely insane, and some other words. But there's haters out there for everything. And I don't understand why. But basically, all I want you guys to do is to just enjoy your dolls. Know that you are doing a cool thing, and hopefully you're just going to coast right through this hobby and have a good time. And if you see the drama, you can ignore it. You can have the power and the choice and the option to just say, actually, I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to block you, and you don't have the right to say that to me, because they don't. So I also wanted to just end this video. We're going to throw Ebony right here. I wanted to end this video with me reading this. And this is going to be a longer video, but that's okay. This is a book that I thrifted, and every time that I read it, I almost cry. I love it so much. So it's called The Best I Can Be, and it says Inspiring Words for American Girls. For over a decade, is this good? Let's see, let's do it this way. For over a decade, the American Girls collection has encouraged girls to be their very best. Through stories about Kaya, Felicity, Josefina, Kirsten, Addie, Samantha, Kit, and Molly, girls realize that they're a part of a long, proud line of daughters, mothers, and grandmothers, and others, who have proudly affected their country and their world. The best I can be is the essence of all the goodness, hope, and heart in the American Girls stories. Full of wisdom and kindness, the quotes in this little book both inspire and guide girls, showing them that they too can meet today's challenges with strength and courage. I can be brave. I can be true. Penny can't jump that fence, Felicity thought. It's too high. But with one graceful leap, Penny jumped and sailed over the highest rail. Go on, whispered Felicity. Go on, Penny. You are free. I will do the best that I can do. The dog sighed and looked at Kit with the saddest eyes she had ever seen. Sterling, this dog's been abandoned, she said. We've got to bring her home and feed her. It's from Happy Birthday, Kit. And I can dream, I can dare. You'll need much strength in the days ahead if you're to work as your namesake did to feed the people. Now it's time for you to wear this. Katsa placed the hat firmly on Kaya's head. I'm ready, Katsa, Kaya said. Changes for Kaya. These illustrations are like so amazing. I can keep on trying if I really care. Keep going, Kirsten told herself. She began to count the way Miss Winston drilled numbers in school. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4 steps closer to home. If I reach out, I can belong. I think Sam's sense of value is just fine, Mother, interrupted Uncle Guard quietly. She gave the doll to Nellie. Grandmary nodded, slowly. Yes, I think Samantha's sense of value is just fine indeed. So pretty. I can be a friend, lend a helping hand so strong. Kaya held tightly to Steps High's mane. She'd have to catch Speaking Rain as soon as she came within reach, or else Speaking Rain would be swept under the horse's sharp hooves. Kaya reached and grasped, caught her arm. She had her. I'll hang on to my dreams, flying high and free. Molly beamed. She couldn't wait until the next night. Miss Lavonda would see. Molly would dance even better when Dad was in the audience. And I will be the best I can be. Here, said Josefina. At first the goat seemed too weak to even open her mouth. But then she sucked the milk off Josefina's fingers. That's it, said Josefina. That's the way. I can be brave. I can be strong. Addie turned just in time to see her mother disappear beneath the churning water. Addie wanted to scream, but she kept it inside. Instead, she drew in air, filling her lungs, and dove under the water. That one makes me cry like every time. When I'm alone or something's going wrong, Kit didn't budge. She'd promised Mother that she would help. It would take more than Uncle Hendric's bluster and inky snarls to discourage her. She looks so cute. I'll do what's right. I can be true. If our factories can hurt children, then we have not made good progress in America. Samantha continued, and I want to believe Americans want to be good. I believe we want to be kind. And if we are kind, I believe we will take care of the children. I will keep on going, and I will carry through. Josefina put her hand on Papa's arm, and he patted it while he stared into the fire. So many sheep killed. The rancho could not survive without sheep. What would Papa do? I will use my head. I can be fair. Kaya had an idea. Perhaps she and Two Hawks could escape together. Two would have a better chance to make it over the mountains than one traveling alone. I can be a friend. I can really show I care. Molly thought making the skirts had been lots of fun. Susan showed them how to make crepe paper flowers that were big and colorful. Miss McIntyre even squirted some of her perfume on the girls. I'll sing with my own voice, the voice inside of me. Addie started to speak, and the words came easily. Her voice was loud and clear as she read the proclamation, with its words that had changed the lives of everyone she loved. Ugh. And I will be the best I can be. Kaya hugged the beautiful saddle of the painted wood and hide, but her mind couldn't take in the second gift that Swan Circling had given. Her name. That was the greatest gift anyone could give. I won't let one mistake discourage me. Felicity took a small bite of the hard biscuit. As soon as she chewed, she knew it was a mistake. Her loose tooth fell out and landed, plop, clink, in the cup of tea. I can be brave. I can be strong. I'll have to swim underwater. Molly shuddered. I can't make myself do it, she thought. But Linda was coming closer and closer and closer. Quickly, Molly took a deep breath and slid down under the surface. Also, Molly has brown eyes and Nellie has brown eyes, but Emily has blue eyes in this book. I can be kind. Make up my mind. The kitten's heart beat like a flutter of butterfly wing. Kirsten moved like the flutter of a butterfly wing. Kirsten moved the kitten closer to Missy. Oh yes, that kitten will make it, Kirsten whispered. You'll see. I can reach out. I can belong. Sing my own song. Josefina listened very hard. It seemed to her that the music helped her remember the sound of Mama's voice, and so she was glad to hear it. I can be true and follow through. I'll bring you more food, Kaya whispered. You ask me for help and I'll give it. I promise. I can be fair. I can dream. I gave Lydia to my friend Nellie. She had never owned a doll in her life. Not ever. Samantha took one last look at the doll in the window, then shook her head. I just don't think Grandmary would buy me another doll so soon. I can dare. I can share. Kit held on for dear life. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the train was gone, screaming off into the dark. I've got to get home, she told herself over and over again. I've got to get help for Sterling and Will. Such a good illustration, guys. Oh my gosh. I can be free. I can be me. If I whistled loud enough, Felicity thought, Nan and everyone in Williamsburg would hear me. They'd see me up here on the roof, as high as a flag. She smiled. Wouldn't that be fine? I can be brave. I can be true. It was probably like this the night my parents drowned, Samantha said to herself. She shivered. We've got to get through this passage, Samantha thought. Just like crazy drawings. I will do the best that I can do. Dad was home from work. Kit snatched up her newspaper, flew downstairs, and burst out the door. Extra, extra. Read all about it, she shouted. And I can dream, I can dare. It was as if Mama herself were encouraging Josefina to learn to read and write. Francisca was wrong. Reading and writing wouldn't pull them away from Mama. It would help them remember her. I can keep on trying, if I really care. Here, sit down, Samantha said. We're going to get you out of second grade, Nellie. Put Lydia on the window seat and let's get started. I had a friend help me in 8th grade one time. If I reach out, I can belong. Molly moved closer to Emily. She knew how it felt to be worried about someone far away and in danger. My dad's there too, she said. I miss him so much. My heart hurts. I can be a friend. My TP. Singing Bird stood and stretched her arms out wide to show Kirsten she spoke of a real TP. Kirsten's heart sped up. Singing Bird wanted her to go to the Indian village. Lend a helping hand, so strong. Oh, Harriet, Addie said with a sigh as she sank into her knees. She reached out her hand and gently touched Harriet's knee. I'm so sorry, she said. I truly am. I know you loved your uncle. I know you were proud of him. I'll hang on to my dreams. Felicity's eyes filled with happy tears. She reached up and put her arms around Penny's neck. I knew we would find each other again someday, Felicity whispered. Flying high and free. Miss McIntyre tried hard to keep her voice calm, but it was so full of happiness it sounded wobbly. She read, I'm coming home, and everyone exploded. Hooray! Yippee! Dad, Dad, Dad! Yes, I will be the best I can be. Kit held the newspaper in her 2 hands. Thousands of people would read words that she had written. Kit shivered with delight. She could hardly believe it was true. The best I can be. There are times when you have felt, or are there times when you felt as brave as Felicity when she sets Penny free? Or as generous as Samantha when she gives her precious doll to Nellie? On the next pages, American girls like you share their stories that will inspire you to stand proud, reach high, and be the very best. I'm not going to read those stories, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for everyone who watches my videos, who's subscribed to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much. If you have been here for a while, thank you so much. I really love all of you guys, and I hope that you liked this video. It took me a few times to really get it okay because it's such a loaded topic on how to be confident, and I think that it's just your own personal journey and experience in how you're able to form confidence within yourself and in the hobby. But I think that it's really important, and I think that if you want to be in this hobby for a long time, I think that you should at least be confident in the dolls that you love, and I think that that should be at least a small win for your confidence to further it in the future. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.